The goal is to create a canvas for this lovely picture we picked up from Costa Rica, and it's a lovely painting of a toucan. The things we may need to create this canvas is a wood saw to cut the angles on the frame, some wood glue, hammer, screwdriver, pencil, thin drill bit, maybe a hacksaw, some nails, measuring tape, and some wood for our frame. Firstly, we want to measure our canvas height and measure our frame accordingly. So make sure that's right. Line. It doesn't matter if there's a bit of an overlap on the top, nobody's going to see it. And then just cut the sides. Duplicate both sides. I'm just using a little hacksaw due to the size of the wood. Main thing is nice straight cut. Go. We're now going to measure the angles to join the frame together, so to give it a solid fix. So you need a 45-degree ruler, get it on the corner, mark it, do that on both sides, and cut this piece now. So there we have it. We've cut and measured all of our angles, so all four corners. There we go. And now we will use some adhesive to join it together. So now on each of these angles that have been cut, we shall drill a little pilot hole so we can nail. So what we want is a good, because it's a thin frame, we want to drill some pilot holes so it doesn't damage the frame or the wood when we start driving the nails through with the hammer. So now we have drilled all of our pilot holes, and now we will start nailing them in to make the joint here. So we have some 1.5 gauge 30mm length nails, so I'm just going to make sure. So what I've done, I've actually lifted it just on all four corners, put some tape to lift it to make it easy to hammer. So I'm just going to make sure you get a strong hold. I'll put my palm down, just make sure it doesn't move. And there we are. Do that around all four corners. To hang it onto the wall, we have these brackets, so it might protrude a little bit from the wall, but maybe a little bit overkill, but it'll do the job. So what we got to find is screws that are thick enough that doesn't penetrate all the way through. So yeah, as small as you can. I've done here, I've attached it to the back of the frame. I've used this really tiny screws, and then if you look at the back of the frame, obviously where it was penetrating through, I've just used a file and just file the excess screw bit, and it's lovely, nice and smooth, so we can attach our canvas on this now. As the frame is so thin, so we've provided this support to reinforce it further. We have the canvas on the table, and what we'll do, we'll mark the corners where we want to staple and overlap onto the canvas and staple. Put masking tape on the back of the frame to act as a guide, so there is no bezel showing. So the result we want is showing no white bezel, so everything just looks as if like a painting. So if you look on the back, I put masking tape all around the frame, and then I shall use the staple gun to staple around once I'm satisfied with the result. On occasions, if it's not properly right, you may need to use this, take the staples out, and then once fully satisfied with the result, just check, make sure there's enough, no bezel showing, tightly wrap it round, and so I'm going to be pulling it, make sure we see a little bit of paintwork, put that in, and then just do that around the whole perimeter. Let's make sure you can see a slight bit of paintwork, as you can see there, and staple it tight and do this around the whole frame. There we have it, we have staples around the whole frame, and now there's a bit of an overlap of the canvas against the bracket, so what I'll do, I'll just maybe, should be quite flexible, just maybe chop that out. So let's have a look, final reveal of the result. So let's overturn it carefully, and hopefully there is no bezel that can be seen. Oh, so beautiful result. If you can see my lovely toucan picture from Costa Rica, and it's looking lovely. Just